What a Madrid derby in SuperCopa De España, where Real Madrid edged out Atletico Madrid. The game was full of goals as the scoreline suggests, but also a tactical one too, with both Ancelotti and Simeone tried to apply their tactics to come out of top. So without any further delay, let's look at the tactical analysis of the game. So we look at Simeone's plan. In this game, Diego Simeone started Saul Niguez in place of Rodrigo Riquelme. And if we look at the structure Atletico used when Riquelme was starting against Girona was this. A 3 at the back with Koke a lone pivot, Riquelme and De Paul in half spaces with Marcos Llorente and Lino as wing backs and a front Morata and Griezmann. And Atletico's basic plan against Girona's 4-4-2 were like this. A 3 at the back build-up where Hermoso was pushed too wide time and time again. Koke was controlling the center, De Paul and Riquelme were pushed higher in high spaces in between Girona's line, and it was Griezmann who dropped a little bit for the link-up play. The same basic structure and plan Diego Simeone side followed today, but with one change of Saul coming in. Atletico set themselves like this. Lino and Llorente were the wing-backs, Koke a lone pivot, Saul was positioned at the left half space whereas De Paul in the right. When Real Madrid pressed high based on the which side they are pressing, Koke got help from both De Paul and Saul in the build-up. Like if Madrid pressed and the ball is at the right hand side, De Paul would drop to help in build up, and if the ball is on the left hand side, then it's Saul coming deep, and if Madrid marks it, then Atletico used concept of third man, where Griezmann would drop and help in build up, and this type of passing actually created a lot of threatful chances for Atletico. And as the game progressed, it was Rodrigo De Paul who more often be seen in a box-to-box role, where getting up front as well as forming double pivot with Koke in helping out from Madrid's press. But Saul was given instruction to stay up front into the half space and make those runs from the midfield, and in the second half too, he continued the same. Basically, Simeone did all the rotations on Atletico's left hand side. What Simeone did was to impose the threat on left wing. So Lino, who was playing left wing back, acted whole game as a left winger. Lino made those typical left winger runs. He was positioned much higher just like the left winger. Numerous times we saw him making those runs towards the box. Numerous times we saw him inside the box waiting for the cross. But most importantly, Lino provided that width on the left wing to try to stretch Madrid's backline. But the winners were Real Madrid. So let's look at how they outclassed Atletico Madrid. So Ancelotti started the midfield of Valverde, Tchouaméni, Modric and Bellingham. In the build-up from the back, we saw Madrid building up with Modric and Tchouaméni. Just up front, we saw Bellingham at the left-hand side and Valverde at the right-hand side, which at times made it as a box midfield. But what was exciting and noticeable was overload on certain sides by Madrid. I mean, obviously Madrid had difficult times building up from the back whenever Atletico pressed high, thus resulting in playing long. But it's obvious that Atletico will not press all the time. So Madrid used overloads to open up Atletico. Like, look at here. We all know the basic positioning of Madrid's front two, Rodrigo and Vinicius, who stands at left and right wing. But the overload, the rotation, it all heavily depends on both players' movement, especially Rodrigo's. Like look at here. Here Rodrigo is at striker position and Vinicius at left wing. Now here Tchouaméni got the ball, Rodrigo is dropping little bit, Vinicius little bit drifting inside. Bellingham already in that left half space, plus Mendy is also there. Now here is the overload. Here, as soon as the ball goes to Mendy, look at how many players are on that same wing for Madrid. The best example of these overloads can be Madrid's second goal. A brilliant crafted move. Here Valverde switches the play to left wing, gives to Mendy. Now here Mendy plays to Rodrigo, goes into the box. Already here you can see Vinicius and Rodrigo at the same wing. At the right you can see Carvajal isolated, as Atletico's full focus on Madrid's left hand side. Now Bellingham switches it to Carvajal. Carvajal then plays into the box, and look at how many Madrid players are in the box. We expect Vinicius and Rodrigo to be there, plus you can see Mendy also is there. And then you know the rest. It's the overload to isolate strategy that Madrid used in this goal. Time and time again Madrid did this left hand side overload, which do left spaces and no threat at right wing. But then also Ancelotti's Madrid is so good at exchanging these short passes. And if we look at best example of overloading this left hand side, we should definitely look at their third goal. Here Camavinga passes it to Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos then intelligently plays it back to Camavinga. Camavinga then drives forward. Now look at here, at left wing. Bellingham is already there, plus Rodrigo and Vinicius too. Molina gets on Bellingham, but left the space behind. Same for Savage. Bellingham then passes on to Rodrigo and he passes it to Vinicius. And then everybody knows what happened. It's the same overload and movement of Rodrigo and constant rotation from him. from left to right wing and vice versa, caused the chaos for Atletico Madrid time and time again. Overall, it was a thriller, plus very insightful tactical battle between both of these sides. But what did you make of the game? And can Real Madrid again replicate this same performance against Atletico when they meet again in Copa del Rey? Comment below.